and we're going to decide together whether we are leaving it in 2025 or taking it with us to 2026. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm so excited.
At home LED face masks. How do we feel about it?
I definitely think it depends on the device, of course. There's a million LED light masks out there, and it's so confusing for, even my clients. They're like, which one do I buy? Can I just get it on Amazon? Truthfully, I don't think you're going to get great results from an Amazon LED device. I personally think you're going to get the best of the best results like with the pro panels, but I'm not opposed to my clients using LED light therapy at home, especially for my acne clients, because the blue light helps to kill that bacteria. So, being an anti-aging specialist, it is something that I will recommend, but I can still get somebody clear without them using LED light therapy.
I think a red flag is when a system or a mask doesn't tell you the exact wavelengths that it offers. Evidence has shown that red wavelengths of 630 and near infrared of 850 nanometers have proven evidence behind them. If a mask is just calling it a red light mask and it's not really disclosing those wavelengths, then that's kind of a red flag that it might be a little gimmicky or it might not have enough power behind it. I think it's incredibly important for patients to be educated. We see all over TikTok how cool it looks for somebody to be walking on a treadmill and also wearing their red light mask, right? But there's a downside to these things too. And something like a patient with melasma, it might trigger their melasma, or skin of color, it might cause hyperpigmentation. So I think more education has to go into the wavelength that the mask offers, the power. Also, the coverage and the fit of the mask is important. And then also the heat management of it to
Mhm.
avoid any of that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or stressing
Yeah.
out the skin with patients like me. So somebody like me, I don't think it would be a great fit for because my melasma is so sensitive. But there are two devices that I've done some research on, and it's the Omnilux device and
Mhm.
the Dr. Dennis Gross device. They both offer that 630 nanometer wavelength and 850 nanometer wavelength for near infrared, and both have incredible coverage, incredible heat management systems. So I find that those are the two devices that I would probably recommend. But obviously, the in office devices are more powerful. But like you said, I think it's great. It's a great adjunct to your already solid regimen that you're offering patients, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny that, you see the somebody working out with LED light therapy. Like, I feel like it's so unrealistic to actually be doing that. And like, I would never want to sweat with my LED light therapy mask on. Like, that's disgusting. I mean, especially for my acne prone clients, I think like the way that it's advertised is unrealistic. And, truthfully, you would want to just be sitting, reading a book or chilling on the couch when you have your LED light therapy.
So are we leaving it in 2025 or bringing it with us to 2026?
I think we're keeping it with us in a reasonable, realistic standard,
Smart.
not on the treadmill.
We're going to take it with us. Beef tallow. What are your thoughts?
Okay, here's the thing. If you're using any skincare, like I'm not a hater, like I'm happy that you're doing something with your skin. But if you specifically have acne prone skin, it is going to clog your pores. So I'm not a fan of beef tallow. I hope that one stays behind and it stays for cooking because it should not be it should not be used for skincare in my opinion. But again, that's mostly for my acne prone clients. I've seen it really hinder their progress if they've come to me like for their first time visit and they're like, oh, I'm using beef tallow. And as soon as I get them off that, we get them on a customized regimen, they get clear. It's so crazy how fast their skin changes. So me personally, I'm not a big fan, but I know that some people are. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
No, I'm on the same page. Again, I think skincare is so personalized that if you have found something that truly works for your skin,
Mm-hmm.
roll with it, right? So I don't judge anything. We're simply just giving our opinion on whether we think there are other options that might be more safe. But
Yeah.
for me, beef tallow, for those of you that don't know, beef tallow is rendered cow fat. So it's basically purified, rendered, heated up, and then created into, it's like solidified into a balm. And it's just, all it is just a heavy occlusive moisturizer. But with that, there's a huge downside. Yes, it's a strong, like, water retention substance, so it really can hydrate the skin. But on the other side, it's incredibly comedogenic. It
Yeah.
could cause fungal acne if it's not purified correctly. There's no FDA regulation behind it. If it's not purified correctly, it can lead to significant irritation. If you have acne, like you said, it's so occlusive that it could tenfold your acne and flare it up. So for me, I think it originally started as like a wound management balm.
Yeah.
And I think it should be kind of left there. I don't think it should
Yeah.
be incorporated in like a daily skincare regimen. Maybe
Mm-mm.
you could argue like a patch ointment type of thing,
Yeah.
but day-to-day moisturizer, like your nightly moisturizer, I think there are better options that are less
Yeah.
occlusive, especially for oily and acne patients. Now,
Huh.
with that being said, I have one menopause patient that she's so funny. Probably 5 years ago, she mentioned that she was using beef tallow, and I had never heard of it before. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is disgusting. And she's like, Alexis, it has changed my skin forever. My skin, because the menopause is so dry, and she's not an acne patient, and she thrives on it. So with that being said, I don't agree with it as a day-to-day moisturizer, but if it works for you, it works for you. For me,
Hmm.
I'd leave it in 2025. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I would 100% leave it.
All right, we're leaving it in 2025.
Hmm.
Next one, the Caveman regimen.
No. I just like can't go a day without washing my face. And yeah, no, absolutely
So,
not.
so the Caveman regimen came about as like resetting your barrier, your skin barrier. And the thought is that you don't wash for days and days and days. Like you just don't wash and your skin heals itself. It's all about that like ancestral skincare that has taken off, that natural skincare. What it
Hmm.
can what it can do is build up oil and sweat and gunk. And what can end up happening is something called dermatosis neglecta. And it's this buildup of all these oils and dead skin cells, and it can cause this like plaque-like appearance to your skin. And it can really, it's basically this like fungal plaque that can happen from not cleansing your skin and removing products. So it can be incredibly, incredibly dangerous for your skin. I I understand the thought behind it is they're trying to like reset the skin barrier, but in my opinion, just remove the actives in your skincare regimen and just
Yes.
move to just like a cleanser and a moisturizer and your SPF and do that for 30 days and see if your skincare or if your skin barrier resets. I don't think a no skincare
Yeah.
regimen is appropriate. I think it could cause some serious damage, especially if you experience that dermatosis neglecta, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I completely agree. I can't tell you how many times people say that they hate cleanser and it's just because they're using the wrong cleanser. I mean, they could be using a cleanser that has an active every single day, like, and it's just stripping their skin. So essentially, of course, not doing anything is going to feel better than that. But, it really is about your skin. You can still have a good skin barrier and a better skin barrier than to not wash your face, but to use the right cleanser for your skin. So whether that's like a creamy cleanser that feels nice on your skin or a gel cleanser, I would say you're most likely going to feel 10 times better and like squeaky clean, and you're going to be able to not have that dull appearance, because at the end of the day you're going to look more dull than shiny and glowy.
So
Yeah.
I think we could both agree, let's leave this in 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
far,
mean, the
Really
name,
LED light therapy is coming with us in 2026.
we're not take we're our bag is pretty light right now. We're
Yeah,
not taking very much.
exactly.
All right, next one, at home DIY microneedling. You are like the queen of
Oh.
microneedling, so I definitely want to hear your thought on this.
No, that's a hard no for me. I specifically carry Skin Pen. In my opinion, it is the safest device when it comes to like sanitation, the sterile needles, how precise it is. Those three factors itself are so important when it comes to client safety. Not reusing tips, having like a sanitary station. So when you're just doing it at home, or even like microneedling different random serums into your skin, like that is a recipe for a disaster. That's a hard no for me. I know that some people say like it's so expensive at, the med spas or, in clinic, but truthfully, like there's a reason why you pay the expert, because we study depths, we study, what we're gliding into the skin or what we're applying post microneedling. So there's just, it's so easy for microneedling to go wrong and for you to like damage your skin.
I agree. I think microneedling is such a beautiful treatment to offer patients, but there's so much more than goes into it. It's the depth, the like you said, the products, the sterilization, the whole process. It looks so easy and simple because we make it look simple in our videos, but
Uh-huh.
there are so many little steps that are involved. And I think the at-home devices, you know that they're reusing tips, you know that they're applying products that they shouldn't apply. You know that they could be causing micro tears in their skin. They're running the risk of infection, all of these things. And at the end of the day, those at-home devices are likely not going to the depth that is actually going to transform your skin. The devices that I looked into that are at-home devices, and correct me if I'm wrong, I am not the Holy Grail, fact check me all the time, but I saw that it was like zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.3 max millimeters, whereas professional devices can go down to, for like body, 7 millimeters, for face, 4 millimeters, that we
Yeah.
can go to these depths where it's actually transforming the collagen network of our skin. So
Yeah.
at-home devices look cool and look trendy on TikTok and social media, but they run the risk of infection. You could be causing trauma, poor trauma, like tears to your skin, and it might not really be doing anything
Yeah.
other than creating microchannels for products, but you shouldn't be doing that at home because of all the
Yeah.
cons that come with it. So, in my opinion, I'm leaving it.
Yeah, I am too. Really don't know what you're doing, and you will definitely be causing more damage to the skin tissue instead of regenerating it. The whole purpose is to cause a controlled wound. So when you are not an expert and you don't know the depths that you're going, you're like playing a huge risk with the depths that you even are, or not even doing anything, if you're just kind of lightly going on the skin and you don't know what you're doing.
No, I totally agree. I think we're leaving that happily in 2025. I think microneedling needs to be with the professionals and not at home. And yes, it's expensive, but there's a reason it's expensive.
Exactly.
So
You get what you pay for. I am a firm believer in that.
I've always loved the phrase, the cheap quickly becomes expensive when you experience a
Yes, you
complication.
end up paying double the price.
Yep.
They always come back.
Next one, face ice plunging. Thought.
Okay, so I personally, I mean, all power to you if you can get a bowl and put your face in it, right? But I prefer to get ice globes, to put them in the freezer and just, ice your skin for inflammation. It is free, especially for my puffy, inflamed, acneic clients too. It's great. You could do it with ice though. It's free, right? Yes, I think it's good. I would bring it with me. I just think it's like your preference of how you want to bring the ice to you, you know?
I think for the, I can barely, and this is full transparency, I can barely fill up the coffee canister of water the night before, let alone get a bowl big enough for my head in the morning with ice with my
Yeah,
daughter and all the things that go on in the morning. I just
yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
have that time, nor do I have the patience. But I mean, the evidence behind it is twofold. It causes that vasoconstriction, so it can minimize redness. It causes what's called the diver's reflex, where
Mhm.
it does have a nerve reflex where it actually decreases stress hormones like an ice plunge and actually calms anxiety and calms stress, and it can reduce puffiness. So, but all of these things are very fleeting too, right?
Yeah,
So it's not like it reduces puffiness and redness forever. It is
yeah.
temporary for like that day when you apply your makeup, and it may go a little more smoothly. So I think it's a luxury, but you also, there's a little downside in it can cause like broken capillaries. It can
Yeah.
stress out the skin if you're over plunging your face every day. So there are risks to it. So I think
Mhm.
just weighing it out, but I think every so often bowl of ice to the face, I don't think is harming you. So I don't mind bringing
Yeah.
it to 2026 if it's really what's calming you in the morning. And I'm more so jealous of the fact that you have time to grab a bowl of ice.
feel like if I was single and I like was in my own apartment, like this would definitely be a part of my daily routine. But like realistically, I don't think I could make it happen I mean, yeah, like you said, every once in a while, maybe, but like even then, if you're a mom and a business owner, who has time to literally dunk their face in ice?
I'm barely holding
And
it together any given
yeah,
day.
and like to copy everything I do anyways. So like, what are we gonna do? Cold plunge together our faces?
100%. That is what you're doing. That is what you're doing. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday morning, we are
Yeah,
plunging. And
exactly.
I can just see me screaming because the bowl falls and it's not going to be a part
I
of my
know.
day.
Have you done the cold plunge before?
No, I have you?
Yes, it is the hardest thing I've probably ever done. Not literally. Giving birth was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but
You
yeah,
know,
it's intense, but it honestly feels so nice. It is like the most awakening and just refreshing feeling when you get out.
I can imagine, and I just haven't been in an environment where I've had access to one, to be
Yeah.
honest. So I'm not opposed to it. I imagine because I don't practice what I preach, but I take scalding hot showers. Like my husband gets in after and he's like, "Are you trying to die?" Like I burn off my skin with how hot my shower is. So I can imagine a cold plunge is lethal for me, but
Yes.
I'm
You're like,
I'm
let's
up for
stick
the
to the
challenge.
steam for now.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna bring it with us, but it's not really gonna be a part of our mom morning.
Exactly. The bag is getting a little more full.
So continuing on the DIY trend, there's the trend of DIY tox, DIY filler, DIY vampire facials, where I've seen people
Oh,
on TikTok drawing their own blood, spinning it in their little centrifuge at home, and then topically applying it to their skin. And there's so many things that can go wrong. They're microneedling into their skin with their at-home microneedling. What are your thoughts
mhm.
on the at-home?
Absolutely not. It's a big no for me. Anything that you do at home, again, you're just risking safety and it's, the outcome of your results. But even just like hearing that out loud just scares me and it should not be a thing. And I'm a firm believer that like your results are, these machines that you injectors specifically invest in, like there's a reason why they're so expensive. There's a reason why they have that specific technology to spin the blood and really get those results. So yeah, that's a hard no for me personally. How about you? What are your thoughts? I mean, you do at home talks on yourself, right? But the
No.
real stuff,
The real stuff, yes, not the black market talks. But I think, and to take full accountability, I think it all comes down to one, the injectors and estheticians we're constantly posting videos of us performing these treatments, right? So we
mhm,
post a video of me injecting Botox in 30 seconds, of you doing a hydrofacial, of all these things that we make it look so easy that they
yep,
then look at these videos and they're like, why am I going to pay her $100 when I can do this myself and get the equipment
yeah,
off of a UK website and do it myself? So I think it comes from a lot of us making it look simple and then they end up getting these complications. The accountability needs to sit with us for a second, and because we do really make it look like, oh, boop 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 boop
yeah,
boop, like, and we're done.
yeah.
But I think patients need to know that there's so many more things going through our head that it we don't show. Like if I'm injecting right here versus right here, there's a reason I'm right here versus right here.
Yeah,
And same
exactly.
thing with you, the angle of the skin pen and all of these things. Like so many things go into our years of experience and education
Mhm.
are what's making it look easy, but it's
Yeah,
years of experience and education that
yeah.
really is going into it.
Like,
So
I mean, I think beauty can get really tricky because people see it and like it's so accessible in a sense where people can just buy, stuff online and it's with anything. Yeah, definitely leave it to the professionals. I can't even imagine trying to inject filler or Botox
I
into,
had
uh,
I had a patient that she purchased, and I love her to death. She actually allowed me to use her video, and I'll pin it here. But
huh.
she purchased a skin boost, what she thought was a skin booster from the UK, and self injected the little, as the skin booster, the little blebs of skin booster. and you could see these little blebs and they hardened. So she came to me panicking, and she, after 48 hours, still had these well-defined welts. Let me tell you, her grid was perfection, but it wasn't a skin booster. Ultimately, it wasn't the product she should have been injecting. Regardless, she shouldn't have been injecting. So what I had to do was, thankfully, it was a hyaluronic acid based product. So I was able to Hylenex and dissolve each of the blebs, and her skin healed beautifully. But that could have gone really wrong. She had no idea really what product that was. And there's a reason, I think it was, don't quote me, but it was like a tenth of the cost that it would have been had she purchased the treatment at a
Yeah.
med spa. But
Oh
ultimately,
my
she had to
gosh.
pay me for the Hylenex. She had to pay me for my service, and
Hmm.
I would never not help her out. But the cheap
Yeah.
becomes expensive, and I love her
Yeah.
dearly, but she'll never do that again. So it might look attractive because of the cost, but there's a reason it's at that cost.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're approaching the end, and this is one that I think we're both passionate about, but the term medical grade skincare. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts? Is it purely marketing?
I think medical grade skin is an easy way for consumers to understand that it's going to deliver results and that it's higher percentages, more concentrated formulated ingredients. I've even changed my word from medical grade to professional grade because it's also an easier way for people to understand, in a sense of not getting people too angry with that term.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think by true definitions, the FDA only recognizes two terms, which is cosmetics, which is like your cleansers, your moisturizers, and then drugs, which is like your hydroquinone, your tretinoin, true actives. But I think when it comes down to it, I think medical grade, the term is definitely more of a marketing thing, how it started. I don't think there's a true like regulation behind it. There's no
Yeah.
definition behind, like, a product doesn't have to be like checked off when it's going through its approval processes, because when it's medical grade. But
Yeah.
I do think that the potency is stronger. I think that it comes, in my opinion, I think that it's more important to use a medical grade product for more of your actives, like your vitamin C, your
Yeah.
retinoids. Those products
Absolutely.
are truly transforming this. For me,
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, I think a cleanser is a cleanser and a moisturizer is a moisturizer. I think
Hmm.
if you can find an over the counter, especially when you're rigid on like a budget that you have to stick with, I think those are the products that you can lean in on over the counter. I think the products where I think it really matters where you spend your money is your vitamin C and your retinoids and your actives, your acids and stuff like that. That's just my opinion, but I do think that we have created this category that really doesn't exist, and it's just kind of like spread like wildfire to become this common language in our
Hmm.
skincare language, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with the fact that, I mean, I've had clients come in and they're using an over the counter retinol, right? And they're not seeing those results. And once they switch to, Skin Better Alpha or even intensive, or, I know a lot of nurses also prescribe like tretinoin. I do think that, as when it comes to results, 100% invest in that. Now, when it comes to your cleanser and moisturizer, 100% agree with that, except Trio moisturizer is the one exception that I will make for my clients, where I'm like, you need this moisturizer. It's a staple, because not only is it hydrating your skin, but it's rebalancing. Even my oily clients, it helps balance that oil production. And it also softens fine lines. I think that it's one of the biggest transformative moisturizers that I've seen actually make a big difference with all skin types. So if somebody can't do the moisturizer at first, I will say obviously invest in your more corrective. But Trio, I have like almost every single one of my clients on that like can make that move for their skin.
Let me tell you, I've never used that. I have heard, I'm a big Zeo girl. It's just what's been good to my skin. But I've heard incredible things about Trio, so I'm definitely open to it. And I hope I can circle back and be like, I correct my words. This moisturizer is the holy grail.
Yes, I would say give it a shot. If you can find maybe a little travel size, see how you like it first. But it is truly, it changed my perspective on moisturizers. I'm a snob now. Every time I get a moisturizer and it's not Trio, I'm like, nothing compares. Like, it's once you try a Trio, in my opinion, you never go back.
Well, that wraps up our whether we're leaving it behind in 2025 or bringing it with us to 2026. I am so grateful that we could just sit here. I think what's so important in our industry is realizing that two individuals can have differences in opinions and we can work together and share our thoughts and change each other's minds sometimes and perspectives. Like me being stuck in my ways with ZO, like now I'm like my ears are perked and I'm like I might be trying Trio soon and calling my colleague down the street and picking some up because I have heard really good things. And I think it's important to keep an open mind. Just because something goes viral doesn't mean it's great, and really do your due diligence in educating yourself and reading the clinical trials, and really, especially if you're a provider, before you're incorporating this, and don't just jump on a trend. I'm kind of one that lets the storm go and I just like sit back and see where these things land, and when they land I'm like, okay, I'll try it now.
Yeah.
I don't really jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm like probably like a little hermit crab in sense to like other estheticians, because there's all these products that get released and there's these huge announcements and I'm just like, nope, I need to try it first before I bring it on or before I offer it, or because I just want it to be genuine. I always say that I'm always the last one because I want it to be authentic and something that I truly believe in. And I think that's what's really important, because everybody's going to try different products. Everybody's going to essentially get different results or feel a certain way when they put on a product. So at the end of the day, I'm happy if you're using skincare, whatever makes you happy at the end of the day. But if you want results and you want guidance, like I'm here, I'm an open book, and I'm just happy that you're using something.
I agree. I totally agree. I don't think we're stubborn providers, and really we just want to share our knowledge. If it works for you, great. If you find something that works better, great.
Yeah. You're like, we'll change your life if you come to us. But like, if you're happy, you can stay over there. Okay.
But you'll probably be happier with us.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, my friend. And I'm so grateful. If somebody wanted to find you, where can they find you? Give us your Instagram and all things.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at SkinByUAZ, and I also have a podcast. We like to say we're the largest resource for estheticians, and that is called Optimize Aesthetics. So yeah, we have over 100 episodes on there and 35 guests, so I'll have to bring you on next time. But yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It was so much fun.
The honor was mine, my friend. You take care.
Thank you.